How did Steven become the strongest gem on the entire show?
Steven, you just don't know what you're talking about.
It sounds like maybe you don't know what I'm talking about!
Is it cold?
Yep, it's cold. Apparently by science.
Does that mean it's a diamond?
Not only can his shield block all of the other diamond's most powerful attacks, but by the end of Steven Universe Future, our boy was moving so fast that he could practically just stop time itself.
Father Time?
Hey look, I'm over here.
Then there's Lapis Lazuli, a gem made with so much raw power that she was ridiculously able to bench press the entire ocean. With a cracked gemstone, mind you, and being out of commission for thousands of years.
We are the Crystal Gems!
Let's keep it real. Who do you guys think would win if Blue Diamond, a gem whose main power is to transfer her emotions onto others, went up against Lapis in her prime? If you said Lapis, I'm going to need you to subscribe right now. I like you. And if you said Blue Diamond, you're free to leave a comment letting me know why. Who knows, maybe you could even change my mind. Just so you know, Google seems to believe that Lapis is the strongest gem ever. But it also says that she's a diamond for some reason, so yeah.
So even though it doesn't look like your standard typical diamond, this is in fact a diamond.
Steven Universe's magic system is by far one of the most unbalanced aspects of the show. Gems like Lapis Lazuli were made with hydrokinesis, the power to fully control bodies of water. Gems like Desert Glass were made with samokinesis, the power to fully control sand, and gems like White Topaz were ridiculously made with telekinesis, the power to move anything with their minds, Possession, the power to fully control inanimate objects, and in case you somehow thought that these types of gems weren't already stacked, then they could also just straight up manipulate the environment around themselves too. 2 out of 3 of these gems accomplish these outlandish feats without even taking physical form. If any one of these monsters went rogue and decided to stop holding back, they'd easily be able to blitz through the Great Diamond Authority in seconds. Remember, gems don't get tired. Lapis could have taken Earth's entire ocean with her back to Homeworld if she really wanted to and given the planet a well-deserved power washing.
1/2 of a diamond.
Why would the diamonds be this carefree about having these undeniably dangerous types of gems roaming around Homeworld without at least giving them some kind of leash to ensure their own safety? Remember when we learned back in season 2 that all of the diamond communicators were rigged with explosives just because? Why didn't the diamonds do something similar with gem production?
Well, that tape recorder seems to be helping.
No, it's not!
Seems a lot more efficient now, huh? The truth is that Steven Universe doesn't really have that much of a magic system at all to begin with, not exactly. Gems on a whole can sort of just do anything they want. Again, not only is it confirmed that gems don't get tired, not only have we seen the crystal gems showcase crazy levels of their own powers that they refuse to use later on when it would clearly be helpful to the team, but gems seem to be able to develop brand new powers and lose their old powers simply based on their own emotions. The diamonds themselves were unlocking new powers of their own 2 episodes before the series finale of Steven Universe Future, powers that frustratingly did the complete opposite thing of what their original powers did.
Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell no, man.
Remember when I said that Steven became the strongest gem on the show? Well, let me introduce you to the actual strongest gem from all of Steven Universe canon, Glass Ghost. Created by Rebecca Sugar herself, Steven Universe and the Crystal Gems explored the possibility of life after death for gems, introduced a new gem that was hinted at having ties to rose quartz, and even featured an antagonist that threatened the lives of every human being on Earth. The comic issue starts with Steven leading the Crystal Gems to his favorite camping spot while explaining to them that he spent a ton of time in the area with Greg when he was younger. Steven walks off on his own into the dark forest in order for him to gather up some more firewood for the night, but because of his decision, he'd find himself in the middle of a massive conspiracy after he ends up getting his hand cut on an ominous piece of broken glass. After finishing setting up their camping spot, the Crystal Gems all decide to gather around and tell scary stories while eating s'mores to get the authentic camping experience. Steven begins by telling them a cliched story about a babysitter who loses sight of the 2 children that she was babysitting, resulting in Steven's audience questioning the practicality of his story. Garnet and Pearl reveals that they never told any scary stories while on Homeworld, but they both managed to remember one story from gem history that was told on Earth. The Haunting of the Glass Ghost. At first, it seemed to be a story that was just made up by Garnet and Pearl themselves to keep Amethyst in check when she was still behaving like a toddler. The story is legitimately terrifying though. It literally told the tale of how a young Amethyst became overconfident, fought against a mysterious gem called Glass Ghost, and then got turned into glass herself, leading to her gruesome shattering. Yeah, as you'd expect, the story manages to ruin Steven's entire trip. That is, until the crystal gems confirm that the story really was in fact only made up to keep Amethyst in check when she was young and reckless. Later that night, the crystal gems all settle into their camping spots and pretend to go to sleep to make sure that they didn't ruin the illusion. But a worse kind of trouble arises after Steven leaves his camping bag to investigate an eerie sound that was keeping him up all night, which results in him running into the real Glass Ghost, proving that there was definitely more to a legend than even the other crystal gems knew about. The uncertainty surrounding Glass Ghost's existence causes the crystal gems to return to Beat City earlier than planned, but the distance away from his favorite camping spot wouldn't help to remedy Steven's newly developed unease. Pearl, realizing the consequences of their story on Steven's mental health, sits him down and explains one important concept that would hopefully finally help him get over his newly found belief in the Glass Ghost. She lets him know that ghosts don't exist, period, so the gems are all atheists. Anyway, the situation almost immediately begins to spiral out of control when Glass Ghost mysteriously returns, and with her unique powers decide to make right work of the crystal gems and turn every single human being in Beat City into glass. Steven shockingly becomes the first crystal gem to successfully land a hit on Glass Ghost by forcefully expanding his bubble after catching her off guard. After learning about Steven's mini victory against Glass Ghost, the crystal gems come up with a daring plan to track her down, but this time battle against her together as a team. Amethyst gets first crack at the Glass Ghost and actually manages to smack her hard into a tree, but becomes the first crystal gem to fall victim to her. Garnet and Pearl would also succumb to a ghastly grip seconds later, leaving Steven alone to face off against the most powerful opponent that the crystal gems have ever fought. Unsurprisingly, although Steven gives it his all, he doesn't do too well. Glass Ghost actually decides to poof herself in order for her to reverse the damage that she did to Beat City and keep Steven safe, confirming that she was a corrupted gem the entire time. Glass Ghost, a gem made with the ability to alter her own density and turn anything or anyone that she touches into solid glass, had to defeat herself. And I seriously don't even think that Pink Steven could get around her instant regeneration and raw strength. If I'm being honest, I really wish that Glass Ghost's storyline was featured on the actual show, even though she's technically still canon to the lore. There's a lot to love about Steven Universe, but the writers choosing to not set up a stable magic system is the very reason why it's impossible to get invested in most of the show's many fight scenes. Can I get a show of hands of how many of us forgot that Pearl was able to manipulate sand at one point? I feel like that power in particular would have helped the crystal gems in a ton of different situations if Pearl didn't apparently also forget that she could do it. Steven Universe's magic system definitely leaves a lot to be desired, but I still don't think that it's beyond redemption.